If this issue had to do with breach of security in whatever form, the question that should naturally be asked, who controls the police, the military, and the DSS, the governor or the president? Now, ladies and gentlemen, our demand and call to action. Number one, immediate reversal. We call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to immediately revoke this unconstitutional proclamation and reinstate the elected governor, deputy governor, and state assembly of Rivers State. 2, National Assembly reduction. We call on patriotic senators and representatives to vote against this illegal action when it comes before them for approval. The National Assembly must stand on the right side of history and not allow itself to be used to legitimize an unconstitutional power grab. 3, judicial intervention. We urge the judiciary to act swiftly in striking down this proclamation, as it sets a dangerous precedent that could be used to arbitrarily remove any governor in the future. I am very happy to read the ruling of a judge in Rivers State which directed a status quo. Number 4, Nigerians must defend democracy. It's not only the responsibility of the opposition to defend democracy. It's the responsibility of all Nigerians, all of you, to defend democracy. Otherwise, there won't be a Nigeria. We call on all civil society organizations, political groups, and Nigerians of good conscience to stand firm in the defense of this democracy that we all have toiled to build. Rivers State is not a conquered territory, and Nigeria is not a dictatorship requiring the replacement of an elected governor with a military administrator. We recall that even when a previous administration had declared a state of administration in parts of the country bedeviled by insurgency and acts of terrorism, the governors of the concerned states were not removed from office, as this administration has done. This action by Tinubu, therefore, represents a new law for our country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the historical unrest in the Niger Delta should not be forgotten so soon. Past administration had made great efforts and sacrifices to restore peace and stability to the Niger Delta, which is critical to the economic health and stability of Nigeria itself. This federal government should not manufacture political crises that could disrupt the fragile stability and return the country to the past that we have all prayed to leave behind for good. We must never allow personal political interests and the desire to hold on to power at all costs to throw the country into unavoidable chaos through brazen subversion of the principles of federalism, democracy, and constitutional governance. This is not just about Rivers State. It is about the future of Nigeria's democracy. Thank you. We have a panel of representatives, and we welcome any question. Thank you very much.
The comments he has made is quite disappointing, coming from the Attorney General of the Federation.
Which specific comments?
First, for the AGF to insinuate that Governor Fubara instigated the bombing of the pipeline. If they have an intelligence, if there's an intelligence report before the president, or evidence before the president, showing that Governor Fubara has a hand in the blowing of the pipeline, they should come out and say so. But to say that he had told his supporters that when it is time, he will lead from the front, which by my own construction is simply saying, when it is time for us to fight or protest, I'll be part of it. To now construe that to mean that it is the governor who blew the pipeline, or it's the governor who sent militants to blow the pipeline, is the worst act of mischief.
You said the governor then make statements to
how many crimes in Nigeria has Tinubu condemned or spoken about? Since Tinubu was sworn in on the 29th of May, almost 2 years ago, how many acts of vandalism in our country has Tinubu spoken about? The women that have been killed, farmers that have been killed in Ondo State now. Protest was taking place yesterday. Has Tinubu come out to address it? Should we now say that it's Tinubu that is sponsoring the killing in Ondo State? The killings we are seeing across the north. Has Tinubu spoken about it? So if the yardstick is now that when a crime takes place in a state and the governor of that state does not come out to condemn it, the governor is liable. Is it Tinubu that, is it Fubara that appointed the Inspector General of Police? Is it Fubara that has control over the Chief of Naval Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff? Is it Tinubu that awarded pipeline protection contract? So, sorry, Fubara. Is it Fubara? Is it the governor? Or is it saying that Fubara should have carried an AK-47 to protect the pipeline? This is a baseless statement by the learned Attorney General, quite unfortunately. And let's even assume for a second that Fubara has a hand in the blowing of the pipeline. That does not justify his suspension. He still has a constitutional immunity. Otherwise, he'll be saying that a governor or a president who is involved in crime should be suspended. And that will make, if Tinubu is now tired, if the Attorney General is now tired of the immunity provision under Section 308 that some of us have been opposed to, he should come out and say so. And he has to start with his point of the president.
Hello, good day, my viewers. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Chinedu Michael, let's look at the situation in Rivers State, the position of the Ijaw nation. Of course, we are seeing different angles to this. We are seeing the Ijaw Youth Council coming out to say we are against this declaration. We are seeing Asai Bikobo coming out to say Ijaw is majorly Igbo. He mentioned so many places that you can clearly see that without Igbo, there is no Ijaw. You look at this crisis is making the Ijaws to recognize their origin.
I think this was the damage the northern part of the country, and the government was able to, impose. I wouldn't say impose, a burden that the South, the so-called South at this moment, was put on, being seen Igbos as their enemies. It was a big burden for the Ijaw people to have bought into the idea because of Nigerian Civil War, of which IBB came out and said, that it wasn't an Igbo coup. And all through this while, the Igbo people have stayed away from their brothers because of this enmity created by the Northerners. And it has lingered for a very long time. But Igbo maintain their own stand. They don't interfere. We know the role Sarowiwa played. But until Wike came out with a different perspective, that who are the Ijaw people? Who are they? Without Igbo, there is no Ijaw, and the Ijaw is mainly Bayelsa State. And the Ohanese, the Igbo people said, you can't be talking like that, Mr. Wike, because you have a political issue in Rivers State. We're not going to buy into that. We know actually who the Ijaw people are. Even in giving the names, we know everything that the British system has been able to create within the old Eastern province region. We know what happened. These are purely Biafran territories. There's no two ways about it. And it was an Ijaw man that suggested the name of Biafra to Ojukwu, after when he addressed the Igbo Eastern Union before the war finally broke out. The Igbos have put that aside. They are not in charge of the oil well. They are not in charge of anything there. They left everything. But you cannot take Igbo territory, Biafran territory, just because you feel that you have this alliance with the Northerners. They are the one. But they have taken over the oil. They have taken over the space. What are the Ijaws benefiting from? We are saying, the Igbos are saying, no, you can't do that, and we are not going to support you. But thank God for the Fubara, similarly Fubara, who came out, and created a position about Opopo, that Kalabari people, Alabama, and all the rest of all those communities that made up what we are talking about today. So the Ijaw nation should understand that at this point in time, the average Igbo man, wherever he found himself, the Igbos are still there. I've been to Bomadi, I've been to Patani, I've been to Okerikonko, I've been to where Boramatu, I've been to all these places. And, you know, there's no, you still go there, you see that there's no difference between, they are not Igbo, they are not Hausas, they are not Yorubas. So definitely there is just a minor language difference. Then the key people, then we are there. So the Ijaw nation have come to realize now that, you know, it is time for this synergy. It is time for unity. It is time. We can no longer trust the Yorubas that and the rest of them we are running after. Tombolo then collected contract. They and all of them. Tombolo only is a bit different because I understand Tombolo right from the beginning. He's a man of wisdom and integrity. And I respect Tombolo always 24 hours for that. You know, he is a very straightforward. But as it stands at this point in time, this is not a matter of pipeline contract anymore. This is about, you know, what Gowon did in Nigeria that led to the Nigeria Biafra war. The emergency declaration by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it has brought the Ijaw nation and their brothers, the Igbo people, together, and they are forging towards the direction of Biafran actualization.
A school of thought believe that the creation of South-South was a political strategy to deplete the population of the Igbo and the Igbo region.
And apart from that, it was a deliberate act, you know, advised by the British government. But the Ijaw people refuse. I don't want to say the Ijaw, their leaders as at that time, that still championing all these things. You know, the Igbo have shown that they can stay without crude oil. Japan has no crude oil. But unfortunately, they met our own brothers, blood, the same water, the same everything, to have this enmity. And the Igbo people stayed on their own and managed their life, even though their properties were being taken. Some of them changed their names, that they don't want to be Igbo again. We've seen it clearly, that all this year, for over 50 years now, the Igbo man has never raised his hand against his Ijaw brother. What we are saying is that the oppression and suppression of the Yorubas and the Hausas against these people, painting the picture that Igbos are their enemies, making them to understand that Igbos are interested in the crude oil. Why? They are the one that is interested in the crude oil. And they keep on making that place devastation, pollution everywhere. But the sister, look at what they have done now. They have imposed state of emergency, and they have appointed somebody from that state again, and the River State allocation is going to that man so that we continue to have access to the resources. The resistance have started. That is just it. The connection, the Bible says they will come together, and it's time for the Ijaw people to come together and move Biafran agitation forward.
Let us look at this angle, because as people are talking about apprehension in River State, somebody have said it that if this stand, that it may likely have multiplied threats to other parts of the country. We have seen the National Secretary of APC talking about Ajibola asking the Tinubu to extend state of emergency to Osun State. According to him, that the governor of Osun did not, or rather disbanded legally elected local government chairman. That is his reason. And so at the same time, people are asking National Assembly to reject that proclamation. You look as if they are setting Nigeria on a path of destruction.
No. I think he's trying to repeat. I know what I say. I'm seeing Gowon in Tinubu. I'm seeing Gowon of 1967 in Tinubu. Most of the things that Gowon did that led to balkanization and struggle for Nigeria and Biafra was exactly what Tinubu is saying he's trying to do. You know, when you are trying to impose, you are declaring state of emergency, you have already declared war. The state of emergency means, you know, there's no more democracy. You know, that's what it means. It's not a matter of, you know, you're trying to bring peace. You're not bringing peace. You have come out to say there's no democracy. And what the ministers under Bola Ahmed Tinubu are already pushing is that, you know, a kind of agenda to muscle and squeeze opposition parties to death. That's what they want to achieve, you know, on that. By the time they do that, because see, Tinubu, yes, because looking at it very well, Tinubu is losing 70% of his support base in Southeast, South-South, Southwest, North Central, Northeast, Northwest. So the only thing that's left for him now, you know, is to go tyrannical, to use force, you know, to make sure that he is able to retain a structure that will give him a presidency come 2027. And that is why they are looking at, you can see a governor, a minister coming out to threaten that, any state under PDB that makes not do anyhow, they go see anyhow. State of emergency go land there, they go do this thing, and they go use military take over. Bros, that is what, when you bring people, who do not understand what democratic rule is all about, these are the consequences of it. And of course, it's unfortunate that the Ijaw people are found in this line of crisis currently now, and it has become very clearly that the likes of Tompolo them, no, I don't know what they didn't want to, and the likes of Asari Dokubo them, who powered and supported Tinubu, now will be, I don't know what will be going in the mind of these people at this point in time. I think to an extent, Wike will be mocking them, behind the scene. But they are left within one choice again to understand what has happened. That Nigeria is playing, just not because of anything. They want to still lay their hand on the crude oil coming from the Biafra land.
I know the clerk is no more, unfortunately. So it's difficult to know what his position would have been. But someone
I can tell you.
But someone like Asari Dokubo have made his mind known that going forward, the Ijaw nation is going to form a line with the North against Tinubu. That he said he emptied his account to campaign for Tinubu, and that the Ijaw nation have not got anything in return.
But now I'm telling you that Asari Dokubo, when he made some kind of a statement, what is the justification of that statement? If you look at the if you feast on those statements, forming alliance with the North, you begin to wonder, what has northern part of the country brought to the table. So what it means is that, we are now looking at trying to see if we can have more tombolos, whether we can have more of ateketoms, whether we can have more of, people not on the category of Asari Dokubo currently now, because we cannot be talking about North that has sat on the resources of the Biafra land for over the years, caused a lot of devastation, pollution everywhere, and still creating crises that are dividing the Biafra land, especially the Ijaw nation. We are the largest gas reserve is in Imo State. So we are not talking about all this. What we are talking about is that, if you are continuing to push for a northern agenda in the south and Biafran land, then it means you are seen threatening to be cancerous to the issue of the well-being. Can a northerner now be campaigning that a southerner or the likes of Asari Dokubo should come to the north and buy all the gold there and be mining all the gold and form an alliance with them because of gold in Zamfara, so that they can make one person governor here? That's what I'm telling you, that these people, that's what I'm saying. What is going to happen any moment from now? A fresh professionals, agitators, a fresh group, that will come from the middle left commanders of the Niger Delta militants are going to emerge, that will excuse these people that has already been, corrupted by the activities of longer throat from money, from scrums that come from this table of the federal government that gives them, that make them to do it. And you begin to see this mid-level commanders, Niger Delta militants, mid-level commanders coming out to project the unification of the Ijaw nation and the Biafra nation. There's no synergy.
So this is like a blessing in disguise for Biafra.
You see, I'm telling you that what Tinubu is trying to do is the same thing Gowon did. He has declared an emergency in a Biafran land. First of all, you can see the uprising in nobody is supporting Wike, nobody is supporting Tinubu in the entire River State. No group has come out to say that what this man is doing is correct. So the use of force is already there. And Wike has come out to say that, there's no Ijaw anywhere. The Ijaws are minority of the minority. They are just using the influence and the umbrella and the shadow of the Biafra movement and the Biafra struggle to make them believe they are just everywhere. He said it, that Ijaw alone in River State cannot be able to give up to 5% vote to make somebody governor. But we are not looking at that. You know, because weaker statement cannot also not be trusted. But we are really saying that, you know, at what point will we continue to buy into this discrimination, this fragmentation sold by the enemies of the entire eastern region, by the northerners and some Arab Yorubas in this context? There's a common. That's what I'm telling you, that it's not about. It's not going to be the tombolos, the ateketons, or the Sare as you hear now. I tell some level of mid-level commanders from the Niger Delta is going to march, that is going to proclaim unification of all the 40 territories of Biafra. And remember, let me tell you, they've been saying it over and over and over and over and over again. But unfortunately, it is not on the public glare. Don't think that the people who are already in that squad, you know, agitating, because this, what you're seeing, the bombing and the explosion that's going on in Niger Delta today, is a form of protest. So we must understand that it's a form of protest, and that's the only way they feel they can get the attention of the government.
But Mr. Chinedu, surprisingly, the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, endorsed every bit of Tinubu's action in a surprise move. This same man, we understand, who was against the Edo State governor when he wanted to dissolve local government election in Edo State, in spite of the fact that Edo is APC. So at the time, people are judged to be apolitical and someone who is upright. But surprisingly, he's endorsing every bit of Tinubu's action.
From the beginning, anything that has to do with Nigeria is fraudulent. You find 24 hours elements of corruption in it. You remember what Bola Ahmed Tinubu said when Jonathan declared a state of emergency in some, I think in Adamawa or Yobe. You know, he said there's no part of the country, you know, that is a democratic government, under a democratic government whatsoever. No matter what happens, that should be allowed to have, serve, or be under any military rule whatsoever. That's Bola Ahmed Tinubu a few years ago. And they are coming, they say he's talking as an individual. Today he's president. And you can see what is happening in River State. Are you not seeing it? It's a very clear thing. So what is happening currently now is a matter of time for this administration to find their way, if they are not able to disintegrate Nigeria and cause a chaos that will lead to a serious armed struggle. Because if we're talking about Niger Delta currently in now, you know, Imo State is there, Abia State is there, you know, and they are contributing to. Akwa Ibom is there. You know, there's no how, you know, these forces will not attract sympathy. And given the statement that's coming from Tinubu's men, you know, his loyalists there as ministers or whatever they call themselves, it is not encouraging. You understand? These are not enough reason why the government should go to that extent of declaring, you know, a state of emergency. You understand? So it has already gone beyond that. That will make people understand that what they are looking at, you know, is how they are going to sit on the resources of River State, having understood that River State alone contributes over 55% of oil revenue in Nigeria. So that is what they are targeting and looking at.
I think I have to let you go. This is a good place to let you go. We hope to have you next time. Thank you very much for your time.